Jon Jones versus Anthony Johnson. Two of the baddest fighters in MMA history. Who would win and why? In this video, I will analyze their strengths and weaknesses to determine who would potentially win in a fantasy fight. Keep in mind that it's MMA and that this is just a theoretical approach. Anything can happen in MMA. Jon Jones has a resume like no other fighter. With his great unorthodoxity and godlike ring IQ, it's no wonder most of his opponents were no match for him. With only one official loss, which shouldn't even be considered a loss, he is definitely qualified to be the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of all time. He often fights his opponents where they are at their best, like when he chose to grapple with Chael Sonnen.
This looks like, Joe, what Chael Sonnen wants to do to Jon Jones.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It seems like Jon has decided to try to beat Chael Sonnen with his own strategy.
Or phone booth fight it against Glover Teixeira.
This is what Glover wants, to fight in the phone booth.
Sometimes Jon likes to prove things in a fight.
Yep.
I mean, what he did with Chael Sonnen, the only chance Chael had to beat him was a grappling exchange, and Jon decided to grapple with him. But he's winning these exchanges, which is crazy, and he's doing it by throwing elbows.
His deadly elbows, crazy takedowns, infinite reach, and rock-hard kicks makes him look unstoppable. Even though he has looked vulnerable in the past, he has always managed to turn the tables and find a way to win. His record stands at 27 wins and 1 loss officially. But unofficially, he is undefeated. Although some argue that he was beaten by Alexander Gustafsson in their first fight and Dominic Reyes. He is able to use all of the tools in his arsenal, utilizing his Greco-Roman wrestling and unorthodox striking like his oblique kicks or spinning elbows. He also has a list of submission victories, making him a jack of all trades. His greatest strength is the ability to adapt, combined with an ice-cold heart and a desire to literally kill his opponent. Jon Jones is a force to be reckoned with. Perhaps the hardest-hitting light heavyweight ever, Anthony Johnson is a knockout machine, capable of knocking out anybody. His style is very simple, consisting of mostly punches and kicks, but boy, you better watch out. Although not as diverse as some other MMA fighters, he is able to do the necessary work with the basics. Rumble has literally knocked out every opponent he has beaten. Literally nobody could stand and trade with this man for a long time. His every punch rumbles the opponent. His every kick shakes the building. Johnson started from the welterweight division, climbed his way to the middleweight division, and then finally the light heavyweight division. He's had to cut a lot of weight most of the time, even during his light heavyweight days. While Jon Jones has been responsible for a lot of eye pokes, Rumble has been on the receiving end of many eye pokes and even had to get a surgery. While Jon Jones demolished Glover Teixeira in 25 minutes, Rumble finished him in 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Jones may have lost his first fight to Alexander Gustafsson unofficially, but he got the job done in the second fight, although it took him 3 rounds. Rumble did it in half a round. Although Rumble has a wrestling background, he has showed to have a weakness to greater wrestlers and grapplers. All of his losses are submission losses, losing to the likes of Daniel Cormier and Vitor Belfort, both guys being tough as nails. He tends to tire out quickly, usually after the first round, but sometimes even during the first round. This is usually because of the fact that he has to cut weight, so it's hard to say how good shape he would be in if he didn't. Jon Jones has also beaten some of the opponents that finished Rumble, like DC and Belfort. Nevertheless, Rumble was a monster and a menace.
Anthony Rumble Johnson. And here we go. Our fight tonight is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. White trunks for Johnson. Black trunks for Jones.
A big part of Anthony Rumble Johnson's arsenal that people forget about is his wrestling. Look for him to try to establish the takedown tonight.
Oh, and reversed. Early in the fight, they clinch.
He's gonna go for a Kimura.
This could be it.
And he's free. Beautiful Kimura escape.
Anthony Johnson with a tight clinch.
Wow, that was a quick takedown.
Oh, looking for his back. Knee to the body.
Full mount.
He postures up. Half guard.
He's looking for a guillotine choke, Mike. He escaped the guillotine.
Jones going for a choke here. And he got his head up. Nicely
Just a half
done.
guard.
Let's go! Get him off you! Get him off!
He's now working from full guard.
He escapes and he's back on his feet. The flying knee. Good head kick. Johnson with the jab. That's another big head kick, Joe. I don't know how many more his opponent can take.
Absolutely, Mike.
Great jab by Johnson. Joe, that was a nice transition. Now we're back and over under.
Another takedown for Jon Jones.
Absolutely, Joe. His takedowns have been a huge factor.
Big punch.
Jones with a strong elbow to the head. He's really doing damage with those elbows. Joe, he's landing here on top. That's a big elbow, Joe.
Huge elbow. He's out. He's out.
Jon Jones, just like that.
Scenario 1. Jones beats Rumble. Jones has a reach advantage and has been good with dealing against smaller brawlers. He also has a Greco-Roman wrestling background that he was able to use against Daniel Cormier, who beat Rumble twice. Even though Jones may have lost to Alexander and Reyes, he was not really at his best during those fights, which he showed in the rematch against Gustafsson. He probably would have beaten Reyes if there had been a rematch. Also, Jones has gone 5 rounds on multiple occasions and has been fine cardio-wise, while Rumble rarely saw the second round and usually gassed out within the first.
Johnson. And here we go. Our fight tonight is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. White trunks for Johnson. Black trunks for Jones. Jon Jones is really going to enjoy a huge reach advantage in tonight's fight, Joe.
Having the huge reach advantage is absolutely a gigantic asset in a mixed martial arts fight. You can connect strikes at a distance where your opponent can't touch you.
And again, he connects with the kick.
Oh, he clipped him there.
Good job with the leg kicks. He's connected over and over.
And there's another one.
Joe, you can hear Greg Jackson in the corner of Jon Jones reminding him to keep his hands up. Big right hand. That hurt him. Oh, my! Just like that!
Scenario 2. Rumble beats Jones. Although Jones has been good with dealing against brawlers, none of them hit as hard as Rumble. Brawlers like Glover have managed to get a couple of hits in against Jones. One hit from Rumble could have been too much. Assuming Rumble could defend against the takedowns, he would likely be victorious against Jones striking-wise. Jones has a chess type of fighting style, while Rumble has an aggressive rushdown style, and Jones has not met a lot of fighters with this kind of style, hence why he has emerged victorious all the time. When Reyes pushed him, he would fall back, and even Reyes didn't hit as hard as Rumble did.